Should you scout for Arcsuit Lance and Dragonite? Are they any good? Well, guys, welcome to the 5th year anniversary. I want to say that this is the last out of the anniversary units, but I can't because we still have a Master Fair coming a couple of days after him. Well, not really days, but a week or something after him with the Signisute Leer. So I'm not exactly sure if I want to call him the last anniversary unit. So this is the third sync pair with a multi-role in the game. And again, for those who missed it, you can check out my Arcsuit Cynthia or Arcsuit Steven video. But a multi-role, what this does, after 6-star EXing, every single opponent will get a rebuff of whatever type they are. So for this one, Dragon type rebuff, all opponents will have, you will receive stronger Dragon type attack damage. And, one of their passive skills built in already lowered the opponent's Dragon type rebuff. So you can lower your opponent's Dragon type rebuff to double. And the opponent will receive 1.5 times or double, 50% stronger Dragon type attacks or sync move damage. This has the EX role of Tech, and that means your attack or your sync move rather will receive or will have 1 point times stronger damage as well. So by getting the double Dragon rebuff with the Tech EX role, that's basically double damage or double sync move damage against the opponent. Now, again, for paying players, I want to talk about this and say that this game is extremely, these banners are extremely, banner specifically, are extremely pay to win. Because if you're willing to spend 30,000 paid gems on Steven, or rather on Lance, not only do you get a tech roll cake upon your first copy of Arcsuit, Lance to unlock his tech EX role, but you also receive one custom move candy at the 5th multi-pull and another custom move candy on the 10th multi-pull. Regardless if you're able to scout for Arcsuit Lance or not, that means the moment you get Arcsuit Lance, you can feed these custom move candies to him and give him, get his divine move or move level up to 3 out of 5 minimum. So yeah, pay to win, banner. But again, you can always skip this, but with a 1% chance of getting him, plus 500 scout points. Me as a whaler, I appreciate it, but I do not appreciate the 500 scout points. I still do not appreciate the 500 scout points, but I appreciate the custom move candies that we can make them 3 out of 5 or something like that. But anyway, guys, let's move back and talk about his in-depth kit right now. So this is a multi-role with a Tech EX role. And if you look at the stats, well, unlike Steven or Arcsuit Steven and Arcsuit Cynthia, Dragonite does not mega evolve yet. We'll have to see with Pokemon Legends AZ or Z2A or whatever, if Dragonite will finally receive a Mega Evolution. But at the moment, Dragonite has no Mega Evolution, so the stats stay the same. 354 attack stat and special attack stat, 208 defenses, 328 speed. Average. But if you get the EX roll as well as the 6-star EX, those stats will go up. Attack stats will go up to 400 something. Defense stats will go up to 268 or something like that. And speed stat will go up pretty high as well. So DNA is promoting multi-roles as sync pairs that can fulfill any role. I do not think so, for at least for Arcsuit Lance. The only one who can fulfill all roles for me is Arcsuit Steven, because his stats are really high up, not just defenses but also offenses. The HP stat is quite low, but all the other stats are quite good. So as an Arcsuit sync pair, you have 2 Arcsuit passives or divine passives or whatever you want to call them. The first one I already discussed. You get a Dragon type rebuff on the opponent's team. And the moment you use a sync move, you also give all opponents, even if you're hitting just one opponent, another dragon type rebuff, basically making your sync move 1.5 times stronger damage, 50% stronger. Your normal attacks will also be 50% stronger. And you will receive 50%, or rather, less damage from the opponent's dragon type attacks. The moment or the more dragon types you have in your team, Dragon Myth will power up everyone's damage by 30% maximum and reduce the damage you receive from the opponent's attacks by 26% maximum. But again, this does not apply for sync moves. And then, passive skills, your challenge ends with me. If you attack the opponent using a physical attack, the opponent's defense stat goes down -6. If you hit the opponent with a special attack, the opponent's special defense will go down -6. And if the opponent is irritating and raises their attack, or raises your defense, raises their special defense, well, again, -6. Take note that this probably will not apply to, I think, Regirock in Legendary Arena, because Regirock has the only critical hits will lower Regirock's, defensive stats and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure this does not apply with Regirock, but on certain situations, on most situations, use Giga Impact, that's the physical attack, opponent's defense -6. And if the opponent raises the defense again, then use Giga Impact again. Opponent's defense goes down. Hyper Beam will lower the opponent's special defense. And take note that, look at this, Hyper Beam and Giga Impact normally are 2 move gauge attacks. This are 4 move gauge attacks. Now we only have 2 move gauges. Why? Because of the 4th passive skill. Normal attacks, which is Hyper Beam and Giga Impact, will become Dragon type attacks. And then it lowers the requirement, the move gauge requirement -2. So from 4 move gauges becomes 2 move gauges. And your attacks will never miss. Nice. Last passive skill applies to us, every single player in the game. We've been through enough, DNA. We've been through enough. And stop. Just stop. But anyway, you will receive less damage from the opponents if your HP is full. Not just normal attacks, but also sync move. That's healthy benefits. And then, every single time you attack the opponent, you get recover some health. As for how much HP recovery, I'm not sure. But every single time you attack the opponent, you get to recover HP fist bump 9, basically. Now, we've talked about Hyper Beam, we've talked about Giga Impact. Let's talk about the other one. Almighty Roar Hyper Beam. You can only use this once. And basically, you can unlock this by using any attacks or any moves with any of your allied Pokemon. So you can just use Lance 3 times, or you can use any other sync pair, or line up 3 different attacks or moves, and then your Almighty Roar Hyper Beam will activate. And the lower the opponent's defense and special defense is, the stronger your Almighty Roar Hyper Beam will be. This only hits one opponent, not every single opponent. But then, you can only use this once, which is sad, because I would love to use this an unlimited number of times. And that power is quite strong at 300 base power to 360 base power. Now, trainer move, you got Let's Get Serious. Raises your attack and special attack +6. That's maximum. Raises your critical hit rate +3. That's maximum. And gives gradual healing to the user. Also, gives Endure effect to himself. And you get to receive 20% damage. Which immediately negates, we've been through enough. You will receive normal damage from the opponent until you get to recover that damage, so that you can, receive less damage from the opponent's attacks. Again, you can recover HP by using any of your moves. I'm not sure just how much HP you get to recover by using your moves. Now, in terms of his divine skill, which is basically a powered up sync move, or divine move rather, the more the opponent's special defense is lowered, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. So How do you lower the opponent's special defense? Hyper beam, hyper beam, hyper beam, hyper beam, and then you will receive the opponents will receive maximum damage with your sync move. Again, by 6-star EXing him, you get to lower the all opponents, even if you're hitting just one. Dragon type rebuff -1. And by EX rolling him, you get to power up your sync move by 50%. And by giving him the EX, 6-star EX, your sync move is basically gonna be, your second sync move is basically gonna always be double damage because of the double dragon type rebuff as well as the tech EX roll. So always the opponent will receive double damage from your second sync move onwards. So that is the base kit of Lance. The best thing about him is instant -6 defense stat on the opponent and -6 special defense stat on the opponent. Instant drop of the defenses, which is fun. Because there are some opponents that you have to lower the defense so that you can deal damage on the opponent. So that is Arc Suit Lance. And now let's talk about his lucky skill as well as his sync grid. Lucky skill, or his personal exclusive lucky cookie, Initial Guard, gives you a damage guard next effect when you enter the battle. So you can use Let's Get Serious, but then you will still receive 20% damage. You will not receive damage from the opponents though. So that's Initial Guard for you. And then 1 out of 5, you got Lithe and Unflappable. Boring, but sometimes this is useful. 2 out of 5, you got Catalyst. After you use your Sync Move, Move Gauge Acceleration. Giga Impact, Move Gauge Refresh 3, and Hyper Beam, Move Gauge Refresh 3. Although not really that significant because only 2 move gauges for Hyper Beam and Giga Impact anyway. Let's Get Serious. Move Gauge Refresh 2, 9. Charge up your move gauge by 2 after you use your trainer move. Let's Get Serious MP Refresh 2. Well, what this does is that you don't need this. You just get a gradual healing effect plus receive 20% recoil damage. I'm not really sure why you want Let's Get Serious MP Refresh 2. You have Natural Remedy and Quick Cure. And then you have Super Sinker. After you use your sync move for the very first time, you get a super effective up next effect. If the opponent is weak to dragon type attacks, that will be 50% stronger damage. At 2 out of 5, you got 2 Sync Nuke power up tiles. You can use this to power up his sync move. 3 out of 5 is nice. Hit, Flinch, and Paralyze 2. After you use Hyper Beam or Giga Impact or your buddy move, you have a 30% chance of not only paralyzing the opponent, but also a 30% chance of making the opponent flinch, which is nice. Insult to injury, the lower the opponent's defense is, the stronger your attacks are going to be. Not only Giga Impact, but also your Hyper Beam. Although Hyper Beam relies on the opponent's special defense, but you get the idea. It still applies with Insult to Injury. Let's Get Serious Power Combo. 9 gives you a physical moves up next effect and a special moves up next effect. That powers up your attacks by 40%, your next attack. Pokemon Moves and Sync Moves Crit is a very good one. You're guaranteed critical hits with all your attacks if you have this. Sync Move HP Recovery 2. When you use your sync move, you get to recover 40% HP. This is recuperation 2 basically, or recuperation 3, I'm not sure, but you get to recover 40% HP after using your sync move. Very nice. Sync move physical boost up 2 and special boost up to 9 after you use your sync move. Every single time you get to raise your damage for your next attack by 80%. Vigilance is interesting. You get to not receive critical hits from the opponent. And by getting him 3 out of 5, you got a power up tile for your sync move free, plus 50. And you have the option of getting that plus 25 and another plus 25 using energy. And remember that you also have plus 50 or 2 plus 25s over here. So this is plus 50, plus 50, plus 50. You can power up your sync move by 150 base power. So that makes your Lance and Dragonite really, really strong. Now, this is an Arc Suit. And Arc Suits have 4 out of 5 tiles and 5 out of 5 tiles, which sucks. 4 out of 5, you got a multiplier for your sync move. Relentless. So your sync move built in, the lower the opponent's special defense is, the stronger your sync move. This one, defense stats. The lower the opponent's defense is, physical defense, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. And at 5 copies, you got another dragon type rebuff. But then this only applies to one opponent, the opponent that you hit. So, by getting him 5 out of 5, you can give all opponents, or rather, all opponents, 2 dragon type rebuffs that will power up every single dragon type attack and sync move damage by 1.5 times or 50% stronger. And by getting 5 out of 5, whatever opponent you attacked will get an additional dragon type rebuff, which will power up your sync move by not too much, but I think it's, instead of 1.5 times, it's like 1.67 or something times stronger. So not really a lot, but every single little bit helps. So this has a lot of multipliers. 2 dragon type rebuffs, 3 if you want 5 out of 5. You got a built-in whatchamacallit, brain teaser. I think it's brain teaser. The lower the opponent's special defense is, the stronger the damage. You have super sinker, super effective up next. You have relentless. You have plus 150 base power, and you have your dragon type rebuffs. Did I miss anything? You have your EX roll. So a lot of power with Lance's sync move. But the thing with Arc Suit Lance is you're only hitting one opponent. The best thing about Arc Suit Lance is just that instant debuff, defense debuff on the opponent. And again, if you have him 3 out of 5, you can flinch the opponent using Hyper Beam and Giga Impact. That's just 2 move gauges. 30% chance of making the opponent flinch and paralyze. I think that's a good thing. But if I were to rate him, he's the lowest in my list of scout, who to scout, compared to Arc Suit Cynthia and Arc Suit Steven. I think Arc Suit Lance is the lowest for me. But still high. I'd rank him an 8.5 to 9, while the rest is like, while Cynthia is like 9 to 9.5, and then Steven is like 9.5 to 10. So this one is 8.5 to 9, in my personal opinion. But if I were you, you just scout for your faves. And if you do not have a lot of if you do not have a lot of gems, probably just scout for one. Or just think about it, who you're scouting for. Again, my personal preference is Steven, then Cynthia, then Lance. But you do you scout for your faves. If none of these are your faves, then don't scout. If you want to prove a point, people telling you guys not to scout, I will not do that again. I said that I don't think DNA is gonna listen to your feedback. Sad. Maybe it's true, maybe not. Maybe DNA will listen. But I think they're gonna keep the scout points at 500. So don't really count on them lowering the scout point requirements. But, you know, let me know if you disagree and you send feedback. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to hit the like button for me, as I'm recording this with a headache. And if you want to take the support a bit further, coffee.com/splgum to help me with my education coming October. Or send a super chat, super thanks, or join the members down below. That's just $1 minimum, you know, and become a member, have your name here in this list. Thank you to all the people here for your continued support. And now that I'm done with these 3 arc suits, I can finally take a shower and then count the gems that we will be getting for this update. I heard that it's not good. So until then, thank you for watching this video. I will see you. Hopefully I finish the gem count video not too far from now. But until then, rawr.